let's just make sure everything's running correctly here. Good news, Twitch is looking fantastic. And YouTube seems to be working. Okay, cool. Then we can get the show on the road. Just make sure I got everything arranged here. Yep. All right, cool. I do have my notes for what we did last time. Unfortunately, I did not leave any notes for what I am supposed to do this time. Luckily, I did remember that we need to fix the countdown timer, and I found I was kicking myself because it's the easiest thing on the planet. So we're just gonna knock that out real quick. Let's add it here in the coffee interface. So I kept thinking I needed to bind it, right? Turns out we don't need to do that. We can actually remove this binding. So let's find that time remaining binding and take that off. It's not necessary. And this also appears to be doing nothing, so we'll get rid of that as well. Move this over here. So, just make sure I'm not duplicating efforts here. This doesn't need to exist. All we really need to do, well, first of all, get rid of this. Get rid of this. Event tick. And then custom event. And we'll just say countdown timer event. We do need a new variable. Luckily, this is pretty straightforward. We'll just call it countdown. It's a float. Let's add it to... Sure. Just because everything else is there. So we get this. Get world delta seconds. Double check myself before I wreck myself. I still have the formula open here. I did skip a step. I skipped a step. That's fine. We just need to clamp it. Minimum 0, max is the countdown. Set that. And then I think it's 2 string.
Then you want to set countdown.
Jump here. Okay, so time seconds to string, and then to text. Nope. To text string. Then we just grab Am I blind? I might be blind. Hold on. Remaining time, remaining time, remaining time. No? There we go. That's how we do it. Alright, and then the only thing left to do is just call this event. So if we test this, this should work. Oh, it would work if I actually set what the remaining time was. Countdown. The day shift is currently 60 seconds long, I think, so we'll do that. Actually, there's a way to double check this before I wreck myself here. It's not in the game mode. It's in the 11 blueprint. Yeah, there it is. 60 seconds. So, yeah, the countdown timer should be 60 seconds. Yeah, there we go. So now let's just let this timer run down, just so we can make sure this is all working. Oh, shoot. Vanilla chocolate coffee. Chocolate coffee. Espresso milk coffee. "10 seconds left. See if this timer is matching with our stuff. Milk espresso coffee. Oh, that's not good at all. Is the end of shift function not actually working? "60 seconds. I don't know why that's not working. That's interesting. Okay, let's see what this is actually working off of, because if it's working on the level, this will spawn immediately. If it's working off the game mode, this will spawn in 3 seconds. That's basically immediately. Okay. So this should be working. Next customer triggers, which is down here. This should be setting, should be looping. Let's just let's not serve coffee. Let's just run this. See if maybe I missed something while I was serving coffee. Actually, I want to serve coffee anyway. I don't really want to sit here and do nothing. Am I serving the wrong drink? Coffee. They $4. Iced chocolate coffee. Okay, no, that was the right one. Milk vanilla coffee. Yeah, that's just not working. I mean, I guess 1 minute would be short for this kind of thing anyway. I wonder if I actually have it set up in the player character as well, and that's why something feels wrong here. That would be silly of me, but given how I was handling that event, the game jam itself, I guess that would track. Event begin play. Da, 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 da. What's your order? Okay. Input action pause. Get tips. Give order. What's your order? Next order. Input action pause. Okay. I wonder if having this event in the level is just not a good idea. Maybe I should have it up here. Especially since this is not doing anything, right? Oh no, this is doing something because navigate to the customer here. Who are you asking about the next customer? Day shift mode next customer. Okay, so we probably want that functionality up here. Shift. Yeah, event begin play isn't used here, so we can do that. Cast to day shift, game mode. Get game mode. Actually, I don't need to do this because it's event begin play, right? So let's just see if this will work this time. Milk, chocolate, coffee. Ice, vanilla, coffee. Espresso, ice, coffee. Ice, coffee. Chocolate iced coffee. Alright, 5 seconds. Moment of truth. 5 seconds there. Is the timer working? Does not appear to be working. Here's what we'll do. We'll do some funky shenanigans. Instead of worrying about this working, right? We already have end of shift functionality. I think what we need to do is just have the copy interface communicate that. Which would only take one extra step, I believe. Set wrench. Oops, how did I do that? Is it greater than 0? If yes, do all that cool math for me. Right? Then, let's organize this a little bit. If not, cast to day shift mode. Get game mode. End of shift. I love our stickmen. I keep forgetting that they look like this when I'm not working on the game, and then one just walks through the door and I'm just reminded that we created that funky little man. Espresso vanilla coffee. Espresso vanilla coffee. Oh shoot, because I hit end of shift, it saved all my ingredients. Oh no. Oh no. I'll delete my save later, it's fine. Vanilla espresso coffee. How about a double espresso? I want to double check that we fixed a bug from last stream. Milk, milk, milk. In theory, this should no longer give us a big tip. Yes, okay, so that issue was fixed last stream. Cool, cool, cool. I know we said we fixed it, I just wanted to make sure. I don't trust myself. Espresso milk coffee. How about vanilla chocolate milk? What is happening? I am so confused. Interesting. Interesting. We did something. What did we do? I have no clue. But let's see if we can't figure this out. So we know this is not how it's being handled. Everyone's talking to the game mode. Real quick, just to test. You felt the Starbucks so badly it paused you with extra bloom. I know, right? Like, what the hell was that? I also wasn't paying attention what I was actually testing, which was this timer. Iced chocolate coffee. I just want to make sure this timer is actually going to trigger the end of shift screen. And then once that's done, we can worry about what caused that extra bloom to happen. I do wonder if maybe I simultaneously served 3 bad drinks and time ran out. So I'm just gonna try and avoid that. Iced vanilla coffee. You're just gonna have to sit here and wait, bro. 30 seconds. I don't want to risk double game overing again. So, how's the weather? See you're wearing short sleeves. Must be pretty hot out there. Okay, so how it's game overing is causing an issue, and I think I know what's causing it to happen. So for this to work, right, it's running a tick check. And what that means is when the countdown hits 0, yes, it'll spawn, you know, the game over screen. But every tick, aka every frame that the game is running, it's going to keep triggering this event. And that's why we're seeing extra bloom. So we need to also disable tick on this interface, I think. Set... let's try that. set actor tick enabled, and it's unchecked. So in theory, once end of shift is triggered once, it'll stop trying to run anything on this interface, which is the copy interface. So ideally, when you get a game over, you can't do it. Target must have a connection. Okay, so that's not going to work. Tick. What if I just do remove from parent? Because technically you don't need the copy interface anymore anyway, right? So let's see if that works. Milk iced coffee. Vanilla espresso coffee. Alright, the next person who comes in here is just gonna have to sit with us now. Oh, hello again! Can you set the shift time to a lower time? Oh, I could. I don't know why I'm waiting the full 60. Yeah, I'll do that. But we're already here. We're at 15 seconds, so we might as well wait it out. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fixed. Alrighty. I don't know why that was so hard, but it's done now. I do want to add a black background to this, because it's hard to see this white text. So let's see if we can't fix that real quick, since we're here. Widgets. Day shift clock out. Here we go. Yeah, we may just need to add a black image background. So let's see if we can't do that real quick. Make that center. 80. Then just go to color opacity. And then let's set the alpha down to maybe 0.5. Yeah, that works. I wonder why it's not stretching. What if I try that? Desired on screen. Nope. That button's not working. I'll look it up later. It's not an emergency right this second. Let's just make sure we do that for the night shift clock out as well. That's not it. Okay, it's not that simple. Image. By 1080. There we go. Alright, so the countdown timer is working. Let me pull my notes here. I wrote a massive list on what I fixed last time, but not a massive list on what needs to be done still. I know that we're getting close to just being done with what I was aiming for patching the game jam version of the game. So, you know, we might be getting like toward the finish line here, and we might not need to do much more. Maybe just make sure I add a note here about our implementations real quick. Implemented. Countdown timer for day shift. That's something we should do. Probably do that for night shift too. And a background color for end of shift screens. I don't think there's anything else I did, right? No, there's nothing else I did. I mentioned something I was supposed to do earlier, and I just totally spaced out on what it was. What was it? I don't know what was I doing. Let's try. Maybe while I'm playing, I'll remember. Oh, I did want to increase the timer, actually. Specifically. I wanted to raise the timer because I don't like 1 minute for the coffee shop. It's not enough time, I don't think. I think maybe like 3 minutes might be enough time. So let's do 180 seconds for the day shift. And I think implementing something similar for the night shift, because right now the player just has a lot of leisure for the night shift. So just as an example, I can go AFK right here and I wouldn't be punished for it, right? Other than maybe that worm coming my direction and murdering me. But otherwise I wouldn't be punished. And I do want to also put pressure on the player to scramble to get the ingredients they need for the next shift. Alright, cool. That's working too. We fixed so much last stream. I'm so happy that stream fixed as much as it did. It could have easily been another one of those streams where I spend 2.5 hours wondering what the hell I'm supposed to do and maybe only fixing 1 or 2 things. But nope, that last stream, we fixed so much. Oh. I saw that. Okay, we need to go back to our tree here. The tree still says hello when it spawns something. Enemy blueprints. Event push, print string. Turn that off. Let's notate that real quick. Removed print string from tree blueprints. Double checking things here. Yeah, it would be nice to randomize the trees as well, but I think we're gonna hold off on that. I would also like to fix these textures, but I think we can save that for the 1.0 version of the game instead of the Game Jam update. Just because I think when we do the full version of the coffee game, it'll allow me to review how the terrain editor works. Because I think that part of the reason the texture looks like this is a terrain generator thing. But I'll look into it some more when we're working that direction. Let me just boot the level one more time. I want it to be darker. I really want it to be darker. But I'm worried that it'll get too dark. What did I rotate to get the... It was light source. Lighting doesn't seem to be changing much, and I'm not sure why. what if I just build the lighting real quick? Okay, that didn't change anything either. What did I do to change the lighting? I remember I was experimenting with this a lot, and I was upset that it ended up being as bright as it was. I'm just not sure. Sun brightness. Can we turn this down maybe? Didn't seem to change anything. Yeah, it didn't seem to change anything. That's stuck, okay. What if I bring this down a little bit? Yeah, I'm not sure why the lighting is not changing at all. Oh well. I guess it doesn't really need to be fixed, it's just a preference. I'd like to have it be darker just to make it more clear that it's night shift. Let's actually implement that countdown timer. Because this is a more thing. Here, let's do a little thing. I'm gonna get a timer out on my phone. And we're just gonna measure how much time it takes to kill everything, and then we'll just go based on that. Here we go, stopwatch. Call it maybe at any percent speed running away, but here we go. And go. So let's get all the milk we can. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an espresso bean. Oh shoot. That scared me. We'll get some more of these cocoa beans as well. Oh, I have no more ammo. I can't even fight now. Well, that took me about a minute. I know that when the player upgrades their gun to have more ammo, they're going to have more ability to explore this tiny map a little more. So with 5 shots, you get about a minute of gameplay, it seems. So maybe we should... Since you can get infinite amounts of ammo as you play through the game, maybe we should set it to be 5 minutes? I think 5 minutes is more than enough time to enjoy what this is offering. So let's open our coffee interface, because we're gonna more or less copy this code here. Night shift HUD, here we go. Go to the event graph. Count down event. Horizontal box. Let's put... What was it? 300 that we did normally? I could just look at this one. I don't know what I'm doing. Just a horizontal box, please. 400 by 100. 400 by 100. This is just a tad. Get some text. Get some more text. Time remaining. Countdown. Get a branch going. Get a variable. Make it a float. We'll call it countdown timer. Is it greater than 0? Yes. Then continue on. If it's false, do the game over stuff. Break these links apart here. Oh, I see what's going on here. We don't need these. We do need this. All right, something's not working. Oh, right. Still not working. Oh, because it's set to 0. There we go. So, just clean up some formatting here. Yep, now there's some space between the time remaining and the timer. God, those vanilla beans are something else to watch. Let's notate that we added that. Implemented. Countdown timer for night shift. Oh, there's some other stuff I want to do on day shift. I just remembered. So I think I mentioned it last stream, but there's no indicator, positive or negative, that the customer liked or disliked their drink. So I want to change that here. The real question is how we're going to do that. So I don't think the copy interface really excuse me, interacts with the customer aside from telling it what order they got. Yep. So we can close that. Let me also close the app on my phone that I was just using for the timer. I closed the app, so I'm tracking the timer. There we go. Alright, so I know that we're gonna need the customer. So they do tell the game mode whether they're satisfied or not, which is good. They tell the player directly. Maybe there's a way to add that to their HUD. Nope. Tip jar, here we go. So that's a widget asset, so that means this one. Let's do something, let's do this a funny way. We're gonna need a vertical box. Center, 0, 0. Raise this up just a little bit. Too far, too far, too far. Maybe about here. Going to need text. We'll use that as our placeholder. Center that. So something I want to check first. So if the customer is dissatisfied, they'll do like $0 to $5, and if they are satisfied, it's 25 to 60 or 50 in tips. So what we're gonna do? Oh shoot, how do I want to do this? It's gonna be a little bit tricky if I'm being honest. Go to the player day shift blueprint. And then we want to find the event get tips. Here we go. So the tip jar does communicate with that, right? Get tips. Here we go. No, that's just the first thing they do. Okay. Let's double check how this all works. So this one just loads the save game to get your total money, which is good. That's how we want it to be. This one grabs the total amount of tips that the day shift character is getting. So what I want to do I am setting the value of the customer tip here, and I'm not doing anything with it. So let's do this. Go back to here. Create binding. I'm going to cast to day shift character. We're going to get the character. Sorry. Get player character. And then we're going to get customer tip. And then we're going to need a branch. So is it, we'll say, is it greater than 10? Just because that's a good in-between number between our values here. And then if true, how do we want to do this? We want to make this a variable, and we'll call this customer tip. Get customer tip, set, color, and opacity. Let's promote this to a variable. We'll call it tip color. Let's do this a silly way. Good color, duplicate it, and this will be bad color. So good color, we're going to set this to be green. Do I have a green that's saved? No, I don't. Let's do that. And then the bad color, I'm just gonna set the red value to max. If it's above 10, you get the good tip. If it's below 10, you get the bad tip. Cool, and the next thing I want to do is I also want this to be sometime only visible when the number changes, per se, which is going to be difficult, I'm going to be honest. Unless... Here. Cast to tip jar widget. Get widget. No, that's not gonna work. I need to do this a different way. I guess it's okay if it stays up, right? Let's just test this. Chocolate iced coffee. Why is the timer so high? Oh yeah, I changed it. Chocolate iced coffee. Oh, it's cut off. Why is it cut off? Tip jar. Let's do this. Promote to variable. Is there a reason this isn't being seen? Let's set customer tip to be 1, just so we can see if it shows up on a tip jar. And it's just not showing up. Set the outline to 5. Maybe that'll help its visibility. It does, but it's still being cut off from the top. So maybe it's just too high. That's helping it. That made it worse. Oops. Position Y. Just make it really close. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. How did I do this? How did I do this? I did this in the I don't remember where I'm supposed to look for this. There's a append thing I did. Was it in here? There it is. So to text, string, back to text. Okay, I thought so. I knew I did it in a weird way. To string, append, and I want this to be B because I want this to be a plus. Vanilla coffee. Why? Espresso vanilla coffee. I might have stumbled across a new glitch. Hold on. Milk vanilla coffee. No, I need you to tell me to the same ingredient and then coffee. That's what I want to check. I'm suspecting that I think the formula we did to fix the triple ice, everyone loves it, glitch is causing it to not allow it now. Yep. Okay, so what's going on is down here, we say, you know, oh, is this ingredient in the array? If so, remove it from the array. It's removing every instance of that. Yeah, literally, you fixed a bug by plugging a hole in, with another bug. Yeah, so, like I said, let's pretend this is ice coffee, right? Is there ice in the coffee in this array order recipe? Yes, there is. Okay, cool. Take out every time ice is mentioned. That's an issue. I only wanted to do that once. So that's going to be interesting to do. Remove all instances of item from array. Okay, so that's what I don't want to do. Yep, and unfortunately there's only the extreme option here. So I'm just gonna quickly see if anyone has figured out how to only remove one item from the array. Unreal Engine. Whoops, I spelled engine wrong. Engine. Remove item from array. Actually, you know what? I actually need to use the restroom real quick. So I will put the stream on pause and then I will be right back. I'll also, I don't know, get maybe another cup of coffee while I'm doing that. Oh, that's the wrong one. Alright, sorry for the wait. Alright, contains remove. Okay, so I did watch a brief video on arrays, specifically on this node. The short version of what was discussed in that video is that there is no way to single do this. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to reduce the randomization of this order recipe by basically saying, like, it has to be a set of ingredients. So wait. Hold on, I just realized something really silly, and maybe this is nothing, but we have arrays right here. Why? I don't remember why this exists. But we might be able to do something with this. So let's just review what we have going on here. Make sure that it's not in use. Oh, I see what this is. This is an old thing. We can get rid of that. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, so in short, these arrays are available for some kind of use. So maybe we can do something with that. How to do this? How to do this? Let's change this to be called available ingredients. We can get rid of these two. God, this is gonna be such a messy thing once I'm done with it. Okay. No. Pause. Hold on. I gotta think this through. So what I was thinking was maybe creating a custom event where we run this in a for loop, and basically we just subtract what's available in this array based on our ingredients list here. But I think there's a faster way to do that. Let me just find the ingredients list here. Is this it? Recipe enum? Sure, that's probably it. So what if I just call it in? Recipe enum. Literal enum? No. Recipe enum. For each. Oh, here we go. To int. Let me take some water while I think about this. Love ice water. I guess I'm struggling a bit because I like how simple this is. I just hate that this is causing such an issue. But at the same time, I guess it is silly when someone walks up to your coffee shop and says, I want a chocolate coffee. Like, that's... well, I guess it does happen in the real world, because I've... Okay. Not a literal coffee shop, but I used to work at Sonic Drive-In, and one of the things that drive-in is known for are their slushies. People love their slushies. And I would have people who say, oh, can I get a grape slush with extra grape flavoring? So it's not an unheard of thing. And I know that people go to Starbucks and order, like, I want double shot espresso in my coffee. This is a long-winded way of me saying, like, it's not unrealistic what we have going on, but it is harming our game currently. Unless I can do... Hold on. Array. Here we go. Remove all content. Contains item. Filter an array based on a class derived from a nectar. Find item. Find the first instance of the item within the array. Is this our solution? Double check. Okay, they're never gonna call coffee again. So, okay, here's what I'm thinking, and we can test this. What I'm thinking is, if this is working the way I think it is, basically, is this ingredient in our array? If so, find the first index of that item. Like the first time you find that item in the array. Get that index number and remove it. So oh shoot, we want to break this actually. If true, do that. Okay, test. Remove item or remove index maybe? Yeah. Chocolate iced coffee. Chocolate iced coffee. Okay, if this next customer doesn't give me a double ingredient order, we're backing out. Hey, okay. Vanilla coffee. Moment of truth. Hey! Look at that. Easy as that. Easy as that. So let's just slide this in place. Let's notate that in our notes here. Fixed. Let's call it double ingredient low tip bug. Okay, so now we have a visual indicator for, or actually, hold on. Yeah, now we have a visual indicator for if the customer is happy. Vanilla chocolate coffee. So vanilla chocolate coffee. So look at that. You get plus 50. Player goes, oh, why is it plus 50 there and plus 50 there, right? Espresso milk coffee. Espresso milk coffee. Boom. Ah, I see. I am getting this much more to add to this. The only other thing I remember I want to do in the day shift is I want to have an indicator for when the customer is given the wrong order 3 times. So if I'm not mistaken, that's stored in our character, right? Wait, I just checked the customer. When the customer has a bad experience, who does it tell on? It gives the day shift character money. And then it goes to the day shift mode. So let's go there. Game modes, day shift mode. And it says unsatisfied, bad taste. So we need to get bad taste. And then if bad taste is greater than or equal to 3, end of shift. So let's set that up. We're gonna want to do that in the copy interface. Let's do this. We'll grab that horizontal box. We'll duplicate it. What are your coordinates? Negative 352. Why is it such a weird position? Negative 350. And then negative 200. There we go. And we'll do the same here. So negative 200. And then we'll just put it right below it. Actually, that's gonna clutter this HUD a little bit. Maybe we can move the end shift button over the copy ingredients. Let's do that. So negative 400 by 30. How about 50? That's too much. Okay, 0, negative 20. Nope, 20. 20 should be good. Cool. Then we can just move these toward the top a little bit. So we'll do, whoops, negative 500. And negative 400 should be fine. Cool. So let's change this text. This will be bad service. And then what we're going to do create a binding. Get remaining time, text 1. Let me rename this, please. Rename. Bad service. So we're gonna cast to the day shift game mode. We're gonna get game mode. Get bad taste. And we're going to text. To string. That is not what I was looking for. A string. Okay. Append. No, actually that's fine. Add another pin here. Out of 3. There we go. I do want to center these elements a little better though. Or is my screen just odd? No, we can do better. So this is long, right? So let's, not you. Let's just pull this one a little more this way. Let's do negative 250, see what that looks like. It's better. Bad service can definitely go up a little higher. So what if we just squeeze that? And then just roll this up a little bit. Vanilla chocolate coffee. Let's do a bad one just to see. Bad service 1. All right, cool. And then just make sure that this is lining up with our expectations. You want a cup of ice. I got $1. Espresso vanilla coffee. You also get a cup of ice. Nice. The timer is still going down though, so we do need to change that. Actually, no, the game is paused. That timer shouldn't be running at all. I guess it doesn't matter. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna worry about it. It's fine. Okay, let me pull up my notes here. Notate that real quick. Implemented. If I can spell. Implemented. Bad service counter for day shift. Okay. I just realized my headset's not even connected to my computer right now. I need to make sure I have something audio running in the background to check that. There we go. Music's a little loud, huh? Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to delete my save real quick. If I remember where that is, there it is. And for the rest of this stream, what we're going to do is just play test the game and fix any issues that we come across. Actually, real quick, I do have a known issues page on my document. Some of these are things that I want to fix for the full version of the game, so let me just make sure. Buttons are scaled to text ingredients. We did fix that. We now have these horizontal bars that address that, so we're good there. No visual indicators of positive versus negative customer experiences. That's fixed, thanks to our new tip jar widget here. Most buttons are using Unreal Engine's default button icons. You know what? We could work on that. Let me just read the rest of this real quick. Player can't see how much time is left in the shift. That's been addressed. Player has no incentive to play beyond upgrading weapon ammo. Yeah, but also that's something to explore with the full version of the game, if I'm being honest. I have ideas on how to address that, but I don't think this... Let's call it a demo version, Game Jam version. I don't think the Game Jam version really needs that incentive, considering it's just a small game, just a proof of concept. And customers don't physically receive coffee. Look, I am bothered by it, but not so much that I want to fix it in this Game Jam version. So from that list, the only thing I want to work on is the fact that the visuals are using default buttons. Oh, you know what? I also want to fix the main menu, but we'll come back to that. So, coffee interface. I do want to change these buttons a little bit. Let's change this dump drink button color to something darker. How about that? Just as a start. That's not the way to do it. Let's Let's go with that. Okay, so this needs to be brighter because it's hovered. And then pressed needs to be darker. So I think pressed we can make it just black. Alright, that gives that button a little more personality. And shift. What color do I want that to be? Maybe red, so it stands out. I think red's fine. Yeah, let's go with red. We'll need to do this on the night shift HUD as well. Or not HUD. Does the night shift not have a end shift button? No, it doesn't. Oh shoot, that might be something to fix. Oh, that's what we need to fix. Hold on. In here. Okay. Something that I know I brought up during our first update stream, more or less, is how you don't know that pulling the trigger when your ammo is 0 is going to do anything. So we need to add an indicator for that here. I think we can do that with the text. We want this centered. And what we'll do is just have this appear under your crosshairs. So let's just make this 70. -50. Justify it to center. Make the outline text 5. We want the font to be red. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Shoot to end shift. Now what we need to do is just make this visibility a binding. That's not what I wanted. The text, please. This one. Color and opacity, create binding. Promote this to a variable. Opacity. I'm setting all the wrong values here. Okay, so break. So we want, how is it pulling the ammo counter? It just gets directly from the character. Okay, then we'll do the same here. So cast to night shift character. Get player character. Get current ammo. It's not pulling from the night shift character, is it? It's pulling from something else. Aha, that's what it is. Okay, so we need all these here. So, night shift character, cast to the magic gun, which is a child actor within the night shift character. Get current ammo. Set. Okay, that's not gonna let me do that. Branch this out a little bit. Get a branch. Is current ammo greater than 0? If true, why is it not? Okay. If true, what if I do set opacity? Set color and opacity. No, that's gonna be everything. Go back to the coffee interface. Was it the coffee interface that we did this? There was something that we did similar just a little bit earlier. Tip jar, that's what it was. Ah, it was in the event graph, I think. Nope, this is not the event graph. We can still make this work. We just need to promote this text to a variable. And shift notification. There we go. That's what we were missing. Set color and opacity. And actually, that means we don't even need this variable. And shift notification. Set color and opacity. Good. Add opacity. And then we'll just set the opacity to 0. So we want the bad opacity first, because if the player has enough ammo, then there's no reason for them to see that notification. And if they are out of ammo, they'll see the notification. Wrong shift. Okay. Levels. Okay, we did something wrong. I have an idea. Take all this. And just throw it under here. It's not working still. And shift notification. Here, let's do this a different way. Set visibility. So if the player has ammo, it'll be hidden. And if the player doesn't have ammo, it'll be visible but not hit testable. There we go. So now we just need to waste our ammo a little bit. I say as I try to be precise in my aiming. And that didn't do anything. Okay. Oh, because there's no condition. Is current ammo greater than 0? There we go. Shoot to end the shows. Alright. The other thing I would like to do, and this might be a little tougher to do, if we go to the magic gun blueprint, I currently have it to where you can't shoot until the sound is done. So I think what I want to do is night shift HUD. Grab some text. Censor it. I said censor. 50. And then bring it all the way down here. Let's do negative 30. Slide this to the right a little bit more. Maybe 85 should be fairly good. And we'll just call this charging. We'll set the color to be kind of like a yellow. Oh, actually, can we? Special effects. No. No. Nope. Nope. Unreal has some like, there we go, circular throbbing. Circular throbber. Yeah, let's grab that. Okay. So let's add that to which it can't have children. Okay. So we'll take the triple dots off of charging. Can I change the color of this? I could have sworn there was a way to change the color on this once upon a time. Oh, there we go. Cool. Now we'll just censor 100. 85. Nope. 0. What's your height? Negative 30. And then just slide this just a little bit. We'll do negative 25. That looks decent. Charging, we'll give the outline a 5. We'll slide this just a little more to the right. 255. Yeah, that should be fine. So now we have something animated to track. So now what we need to do is just create a binding for that, which is pretty simple. We just need to go to create binding, or no. Yeah, we'll just create binding. It's fine. It'll always say charging. We don't care about that. So what we'll do is charging text, charging throbber, compile save. We need to do a couple things here. Cast to night shift character. Get player character. Oops, get player character. We just did this a second ago. Where did I do this? Yes. Grab these nodes. Paste that here. And what we're going to do is get the variable can shoot. Nope. Shoot. What did I call it? Oh, it is in the night shift character. Oh, then I didn't need to do all this. Okay. Get can shoot. Then we just need a branch. Scoot this back here. If true, set visibility. Yeah, just to visible. Slide this out a little more. And then we'll do the same thing for this charging throbber. Copy and paste that down here. Set this to hidden. Oh shoot, wait, no. No, yeah. If true, this should actually be hidden. And then if false, these should be visible. Then just drop it in there like that. Let's test it. Yeah, it's a little simple, but it works, and that's the point. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's add that to our patch notes. So first of all, we implemented shoot to and shift. Notification for night shift. Implemented charging notification for night shift. Yeah, that's cool stuff. All that's left to do is just clean up the main menu and all the other buttons in our HUD. So let's work on the pause menu, because the pause menu is also kind of bland. Let's add a blur. Center it. 0, 0, 1920 by 1080. What is going on? Okay, drag this up. Cool, cool. And then just bring it to the top. What did we have the blur strength on the other ones? Coffee interface is done, right? Yeah, we got some stuff there, so we'll call that good. Night shift HUD doesn't have any buttons, so we're good there. Tip jar widgets, we're good there. Click out. We set it to 5. Okay, so let's set that background blur to 5. Grab an image. By 1080. Put this behind the background blur. Set that color to black. And set the opacity to 0.5. Day shift clock out, that's already taken care of. I do want to fix these buttons. What color should they be? Let's look at our interface. Oh, you know what else? I just noticed I don't think all this text is using the right outline sizes. We've been using this all. Yep. Okay, we have a lot of cleaning up to do. We'll just start cleaning up the texts. And then I believe these have bindings, right? Yep, okay. I was wondering why the main menu just looked so... Not main menu, why the pause menus were bothering me. Now we know why. We had not been matching the text with everything else we've been using in the game. I guess while I'm doing this, I can tell a little bit of a story. Ugh. So, I think it's been about a month ago. Maybe it might be 2 months ago now. I got a text message from my mom. She's been really into a lot of different J-pop artists as of late. And so she usually like tells me about them or gets excited about their events and whatnot, and it's fun, so I listen to it. And I engage with it. If she recommends a good artist, I listen to them too. So it's all fun stuff. I got a text one day that Ado, a really big J-pop artist, is coming to Arizona, and she wanted to know if I wanted to go, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm interested. The next text I got was, all right, cool, I bought the tickets. So I was like, oh, okay. Cool. I'll be sure to be there. So fast forward a bit to yesterday. Went to the concert. It was pretty big. Filled almost the entire stadium for this concert. And it was good. It was a lot of fun. Maybe I should use a brighter color actually, since we have a dark background. Anyway, it was a really fun concert. And I bought some of the trading cards that they were selling as merchandise. I think I just took a photo of it before the stream. I can pull it up real quick. Give me a second. Where do I go from here? Google. It's not pulling it up. I don't think my photos got uploaded to the Google. Anyway, bought those trading cards, right? Because card collecting is fun, and I gotta say, the quality of the cards are really nice. Like I have 3 different trading card games next to my desk. Yeah, I do. And these cards are much nicer quality, even if they're smaller. Dude, okay, so when the vendor asked me, you know, what do you want? I said, oh, I want the trading cards. He asked me, do you want the whole set? And it was like $5 for 1 card, which is already kind of a lot, right? But I was like, 10 doesn't sound like too much, right? But, you know, I wasn't being smart because I was also not thinking about the fact that, I was also going to be buying something for my mother at the same time. And so I had inexplicably paid $50 for 10 trading cards. And that brought my total for the purchase to like $100-something. And it's like, I wasn't thinking. But I will say the trading cards are really cute. It's mostly like chibi ado, just hanging out. Whoops. Like one of them is just a picture of her plushie that she has in front of a microphone. So they're nice. Unfortunately, I did get a couple of duplicates in that pack of 10, but that's fine. That's like the typical trading card experience anyway, right? So I have them. Where did I put them? I was just messing with them a second ago. Oh, yeah, they're right next to me. I do have a couple of card booklets. I'm looking up at them right now. They're on a high shelf. I'll probably slide those in there at some point later this evening. But yeah, that was a great concert. I don't normally go to concerts. I usually find them like pretty loud and the atmosphere pretty annoying. But no, first of all, the concert was amazing. But second of all, the fans were just like really, really kind. The event organizers were very calm, and if you asked for any kind of help, they didn't hesitate. It's like, oh, I'm trying to find my seat. Oh, it's gonna be over there. And I saw them also help other people like find the restrooms or nearby exits or services. The vendors were pretty funny. Some of them were cracking jokes at people while they were paying for stuff. So yeah, if Otto ever comes back to Arizona, I will for sure attend again, because that was a great time. I had a great time. These buttons are already white. Okay. Let's just check the rest of the HUD. Nah, I don't think we need to change this. This is fine. We can leave that alone. What else? Pause menu. Oh, you know, it would be nice to add an options menu, but that might be going a little too far. I'll see if I can add an options menu, just because it's always nice to have those as an option. This game's not gonna burn any computers down, but it's always good to have that option regardless. Let's add a background blur to this though. by 1080. 1080. There we go. Some good water. Alright, we'll worry about adding the options menu to these later. I just want to finish everything else first. Main menu. Okay, there's start new game. Load game. Quit game. So I want to do something here too, because I think I mentioned it during the original update stream. I wanted this to change colors based on if you had a load save or not, and that just didn't happen for some reason. Probably because I didn't bind it. There's no binding for it. I just changed it to the color black, I think. Yeah, so let's fix that. Set that back to normal. How do I want to do this? Let's do this. Event constructor says save game exists. Load save game from slot. In is enabled. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Open. Let's make sure I don't have a save game. Okay, that's taken care of. Let's load the main menu. Okay. I see what the issue is. It's creating a save game as soon as I load the main menu. So just real quick. No save. That's good. Event construct. Does save game exist? If yes, load save game from slot. If false, set the button as enabled. But it's creating it at the start. Something else is triggering it. Let's go to game modes, main menu. Yeah, there's nothing that would trigger this to be done, so something else is triggering it. I don't know. What if we set this disabled by default? And then if a save game does exist, we enable it. Okay, so first of all, delete my save, because it created a save on load. And it just created my save again. I'm not sure why it does that. It's really interesting. Oh well. Well, let's just not worry about it. Yeah, it is disabled by default. It's just letting itself be recreated, so we'll just not worry about it. It's not like it's like a make or break situation anyway. I do again want to change the main menu though, because like this is kind of a whole lot of nothing. How do I want to do this though? Let's pull this out a little bit. Maybe yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe I should just draw a main menu or something. This is just a main menu level, right? So what if we just, I'm not happy with the main menu, but at the same time, do I really need to fix it that badly? It's functional. We can move the camera a bit. I don't know how much that added to the scene, but it's certainly something. I'm wondering why it's all black here, though. And here. Are the shadows just that deep? Let's build the lighting. See if that fixes anything. Alright, in that case, can we just bring this forward a little bit? Sure. Alright, let's see if we can get an options menu put together. We'll create a new widget. We'll call it options. Oops, I have caps lock on. Oh shoot, that's options. I don't know why it's suddenly doing all this saving. Let's close everything else we're not working on at this moment. Alright, let's get a vertical box. We'll move it to about here. Drop it down just about here. Open it up like this. How do I want to do this? Let's start with we should start with the resolution. But if I'm being honest with myself, I'm not entirely sure I remember how to do that. So let's just do some practice runs here. Set resolution. That's something. Resolution. wait, that's not it either. Resolution. I remember there's a way to do this, and I'm just not getting it. Maybe window size? Alright, time to use our good friend Giggle. Unreal Engine. Resolution. Change resolution. Here we go. Viewport. Nope. Okay. Let's do this. Jump over here. Okay, game, user settings. There we go. Set anti-aliasing quality. Here we go. So that probably means I need to go to project settings to find what these values are supposed to be. Anti-aliasing mode. Here we go. So there's 3 options. So let's promote this to a variable. Call this anti-aliasing mode. Tooltip. Zero is none. 1 is FXAA. 2 is temporal AA, and 3 is MSAA. Let's just see what that looks like with this main menu. It looks a little smoother. More smooth. And then that last one just kind of undid that smoothness. Okay, so I think temporal AA is what looks best on my rig at least, so that's good. We at least know what this does. We'll set it to none by default. So now what we'll do is grab a horizontal box, drop that in there, grab a button, actually grab text first, anti-aliasing. We might stretch this out a bit. Then we'll grab a button. We'll put some text on that button. more text. Set that outline to 5. Set this to center. Change that text. Set that button to be not the button. Set the text to be not hit testable because we don't want the text to block the button. I think that's all we really need to do for anti-aliasing in terms of setting this up. We do need to change the key binding here, so let's change the binding on this text. Create binding. We'll promote this to a variable. We'll say anti-aliasing text. So branch. Well, first of all, let's go to the event graph. Event construct. Let's get these values. So, when this HUD is created, well, we should do this before this, but just for our exercise here. When it's created, get the user settings, and you're going to grab the anti-aliasing mode and set it to be that. So we should probably, we'll figure out how to set it up later. Make the game launch with the user settings. We'll do that later. For now, we need to make sure this HUD can be created and can be edited. So now that we have this value, let's make this easier on ourselves real quick. Options. Drag this over here. Enumeration. Anti-aliasing options. Or can I already do that? Anti-aliasing. Switch on anti-aliasing options. Okay, yeah, so I'm glad I did that then. So we need one. FXAA. Or actually, no. First one should be none. FXAA. Temporal AA. MSXAA. Was that what it was called? MSXAA? MS. I imagined that X. Let me drink my water real quick. Cool. So now if we go back here, we have options. To byte or select. There we go. Then we can just set the text like this. Easy peasy. Temporal We'll do space like that since we're using all caps. And then just MSA. So now we need to program these buttons to change the anti-aliasing status. Let me just look at my notes here. So let's assume on clicked. Change this button to anti-aliasing underscore down. Let's call it that. So unclicked. Set anti-aliasing to minus minus. And because it's a... Oh, should we clamp this actually? We should be able to clamp this. Clamp. Decrement. It's 3. Max is 3. And then we'll just do something similar for AA up. Underscore up. Just drag this down here. I did not click on the button. Yep. Underscore up. Let's take this clamp and do an increment. Cool. So now in theory, we should be able to change our anti-aliasing value. So now we just need to add that into the main menu widget, which should be as simple as, first of all, we need to add a button to call for it, so button. We'll add it right below load game, right before quick game, options button. Grab some text, drop that there, options. Drop that all the way down. On clicked. Remove from parents. Create widgets. Main menu. Not main menu. Options. Add to viewport. Let's see if that works. There we go. So we see it's set to none by default. And we see that these buttons don't do anything. Neat. Very neat. Or at the very least, it looks like they're not doing anything. So let's take off this clamp and see if that might be doing something to it. I doubt it, but... So anti-aliasing mode, the text, we get the current one, 0 to that, changes the text. There we go. Yeah, so we do need to clamp it somehow, but... let's see, if we add the clamp here. Oh, here's what we can do. I don't know why I'm making this harder on myself. Branch. Is it greater than, let's say 3? If so, do nothing. But if not, go ahead and do an increment. Then just do the same over here, but in reverse-ish. Is it greater than 0? No, not 0. -1. Is it greater than -1? If yes, do your decrement. If not, do nothing. And that didn't work. Okay. Here's what we'll do. Anti-aliasing mode. So essentially, is it greater than -1? If yes, do your minus. If it is less than or equal to -1, set it back to 0. Autocorrect yourself. We'll do the same thing over here. Autocorrect yourself to 3. Nope, that's not working. What if we set this to 2? Okay, that's what I need to do. I need to do 1 lower, I think. Alright, cool. That's working. And that's working. Alright, cool. We'll go with that. Alright. Anti-aliasing is implemented. Let's do vertical sync. Vertical sync should be pretty simple. I say that, and I can't find it. Rendering. Here we go, default settings. There's the anti-aliasing method. Bloom, ambient occlusion. What does motion blur look like? Well, it's tested on a night shift level, but let's see what that looks like. How aggressive is that? That is pretty aggressive. I kind of don't like that. Yeah, that's gonna get me motion sick. We'll turn it off. Or is there a way to tweak it in the engine? Motion blur. Blur. There's no way to tweak it. Okay, that's a little disappointing. Post-processing. Okay, motion blur, let's turn that off, please. Okay, it's already off. Yeah, I don't think we need to tweak anything else there. Optimizations. It would be funny to turn on ray tracing, but my computer can't run ray tracing, so if I turn this on, I would crash my editor. So we're just not gonna worry about that. User interface, here we go. Scale to fit the UI, so that should fix some of our UI issues we saw earlier. Oh, the timer is not the right font. Ah! I knew I was forgetting something. Night shift HUD. There we go. Let's make sure that day shift HUD got the same thing going on here. Okay, yeah, that's taken care of. Oh, can we enable Vulkan? Ah. Okay, well. We'll leave it alone. Just because I don't know enough about how Vulkan works to really mess with it, really. Resolution. Viewport. Here we go. Viewport client. Nope. Maps and modes. So editor startups, that main menu is that. Okay, perfect. That's what I want. If I ever implement local multiplayer to this kind of game, that would be hilarious. Reviews packaging. Here we go. I'm just trying to find the resolution controls here. Viewport properties. Nope. 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 I should probably just Google this, but I just want to try and find it first. General settings. Here we go. That might be something. Nope. Alright, what about the viewport clients? What does that do? That's gonna be deeper in the engine, I guess. Alright. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Tell you what, we'll just use Unreal's basic quality stuff. So set quality, right? Look at that. All these options for us. but we just do set screen resolution. What does that let us do? Cool. Can we make an array out of this? Okay, and then get index. Nope. Let's do find. Nope. We'll just do some funny business to make this work. Alright, put this in directly for now. Oh, you know what? We don't want to set this stuff in here, I'm realizing. We want to get anti... Nope. Get anti-aliasing quality. And then we'll set this. Then get screen resolution. Set resolution. That's something we can do. Alright, let's I think we'll finish the stream just by working on the resolution stuff. Because I do want to take some time to research this stuff a little more carefully, so we don't make some like really bad stuff, essentially. So we'll duplicate this. Rename this to res down. Res up. And this track is a little bit distracting. I'm gonna turn it down. Okay. Let's make an enumeration for the resolutions we want the player to have access to. Resolution, oops, resolution enum. We'll do, I need to look at common resolutions. I know some of them, but I don't know all of them. Common screen resolutions. Okay, there's a little bit more than I was expecting. Let's use Wikipedia's page here. Computer graphics. Oh wow, that's a longer list. That is a way longer list. Let's sort it by okay, so here's some 4x3 resolutions. we'll just pull a couple from there, and then we'll pull a couple from the widescreen standards. Or I can just go back to the original list I was looking at and just go with that, because Jesus. Okay, let's have the lowest be 640 by 480. We'll do 1280 by 720. We'll do 1366 by 768. We'll do 1600 by 900. Uh, 1920 by 1080. And then we'll do 1440 as well. So 2560 by 1440. Actually, quad HD resolution is 2560 and ultra wide is 3440. Let's just look this up. Widescreen monitor resolution. Here we go. So they have a couple different ones. Looks like 3440 is actually the correct one. 3440 by 1440. So we'll go with that. It's not a bad choice. Cool. And then we'll just bind this. We should rename these before I forget what they're for. So we'll do AA underscore text. Res underscore text. So this is how I got it set up here. So we'll just do something similar over here. So switch on resolution enum. Select. We'll just change resolution to be an integer. No, we'll undo that. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit tougher. Let's just set this up, and then we'll fix it as we go. Drop this down. And finally 1440. We'll call this resolution index. Set resolution. Math, conversions, nope, endpoints. Get default resolution? No. There we go. By 480. We'll also promote this to a variable. We'll call this res underscore text. Nope. Resolution text. $1280 by 720. $1366 by 768. $1600 by 900. $1920 by 1080. $3440 by 1440. Oh shoot, I didn't set the resolution text for any of these. Can I do this? I didn't think so. For 40 by 1440. Here, we'll just do this. Make it easier for myself. There we go. 640 by, whoops, by 480. I probably want to do spaces there. Let's do that. Cool. 1280 by 720. $1366 by 768. This one is going to be 1600. I was talking to a coworker at my day job about resolutions one day, and I guess they didn't know that 8K had become commercially available yet. I don't remember what the context was that we were talking about this. I think they were telling me about their they do a photo shoot gig on the side, and they were like, resolution, people game on resolutions that high? And I'm like, yeah, some people do if they have the money. I myself, I'm in 1080 land, but 1080 land is still pretty nice. I think most of my friends use 1440 monitors themselves. The laptop I have, I think, is 1440 as well. And I will say, as much as I don't need higher resolution than 1080p, it is nice to have. It's very nice to have. Okay, so let's just test if this is set up correctly. Oh, it's not set up correctly because we didn't do any button stuff. We need to do button stuff. So we'll set up those buttons real quick. Res down. So we'll just wrench. Resolution index. Is it greater than, what did it do, -2? Greater than 0. Wrench. Set it back to 0, and then otherwise do a decrement. Right? Yep, that's pretty much how that works. Cool. Grab this one. Call this one res underscore up. What else is called res up? Oh, the text. I knew I was gonna do that again. res_up. So branch. Is it greater than 2? If so, set the resolution index back down to 3. Otherwise, do an increment. That's how I did it up here, right? Yep. Nice. All right, let's test this. Main menu. Oh shoot, I said the index too small. Options. So our enumeration currently has 1, 2, 3. It goes up to 5. So we need to set the limit to 5, I think, or 4, technically. So let's see if we can get to 1440 here. There we go, and then we can't go any higher. Oh. Oh, because we keep resetting it back down to 3. We need to reset it down to 5. Options. So 480p, 720p, 768p, 900p, 1080p, 1440p, and it stops at 1440p. Now, 1440p, 1080p, 900p, 768p, 720p, 40p, and we can't go any lower than that. Nice. Before we go any further, let's add the background blur. (1920 by 1080). Grab an image. (1920 by 1080). Want this black and 0.5. Nice. That cup of coffee's wearing out. I need another cup. Oh, we need resolution. There we go. And I think most people would prefer that the resolution be above the anti-aliasing. So we'll say resolution options. Anti-aliasing options. And just do that. Nope. There we go. Solid. What other settings can we mess with? Ooh, window mode. That's something we should change. Yeah. Let's promote that to a variable. We'll call it window mode index. Let's default window mode. I want to get a window mode. Get window mode. There we go. So we'll copy this. Window mode options. Create a binding. There shouldn't be that many full screen options, right? Oh shit. I hope that doesn't try to open a Windows Visual script. Unfortunate. Okay. We'll just have to do our own here. Window mode enum. We'll say windowed mode, windowed full screen, and we'll do full screen. Window mode text. Switch on window mode enum. Well, that's not good. Nope. You know what? We'll play around with this more later. I'm feeling a little burnt on this topic. Yeah, we'll revisit it. Let's document what we did in the options menu here. I know it's not functional, but we do have a way to display the values that we created for ourselves here. So created options menu with anti-aliasing and resolution. We'll call them sliders, and there's a better word for it, but yeah. We'll make a note. In the document, we'll rename this section of the document to final patch to do. number 1. Create options menu. And then what I'll do is say, change screen resolution, change anti-aliasing mode, change full screen settings, change audio levels, what else? Sensitivity. And then, is there anything else? Any other settings that in a game like this would need to be changed? So, resolution, anti-aliasing. We can update this document as we go. I'll do some research throughout the week just to see what we need to do, how we can implement it. That way we can do it for the next stream. And hopefully that'll be everything we need to do to just get a polished version of the Game Jam concept to itch.io. And then we can begin work on a full release version of Cafe des Armes. Yeah, that'll be sick. In the interim, you know. Have a good rest of your weekend, everyone. Hopefully nothing too stressful happens, and hopefully whatever goals that you're striving for are achieved or make good progress on. We'll pick this back up next time. See you then.